I would have to say that it's moving away from the family-oriented business and the move to Chicago, kind of divorcing itself from the Puget Sound area here. That's had a real effect on the relationships.
The most influential thing that's happened in my mind was the merger, because the merger changed the fundamental relationship between SPIA and the Boeing Company in this way. Prior to the merger, SPIA represented the vast majority of all the technical workforce of Boeing. I think we represented like 98% of the technical workforce in Boeing. And we had a relationship with the Boeing management that was 60 years old, and we had certain understandings and conventions that we accepted, and it was SPIA that introduced the 401k savings plan to the Boeing Company. We talked to management. We thought that that would be important, and they did that, and then they rolled it out for the entire Boeing company. But that was something that SPIA created and introduced. After the merger, that situation changed because we do not represent the vast majority of the technical and engineering workforce of the Boeing Company. On the defense side, it's actually quite low. When I calculated it, it was about 11.5%. So that changes the relationship quite a bit. And on the commercial airplane side, we still do represent the vast majority of the engineering and technical employees. So the company has taken on two different characters now. There is a more traditional relationship, I believe, at the commercial airplane company based in the Northwest. But in the defense side, we do not have nearly the contacts and influence that we used to have, and the locations that we're at are just a small minority of the total number of locations on the defense side.
Again, I'm pretty new. I've been here a year. I mean, I've gone back and read some of the history, and clearly the relationships have not been as good if you go back 30, 40, even 50 years. But we've had great success together. We've had great success building the 37, the 777. We're going to have great success building the 787. And we can't survive without the IAM and SPIA, and certainly they wouldn't exist without the company. We have a shared destiny.
Well, the most important issue going forward is the success of the Boeing Company. Certainly in turn means the success of the Machinists Union. We need to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we're moving forward. We all want to be here long into the future, and so that's what I see as being successful.
For the SPIA represented people, what I hear from our membership is clear, and it's the outsourcing of jobs. I mean, all other things almost pale in comparison, because if we don't have the jobs here where we work, then we don't have a relationship with Boeing anymore. And we feel that we are the source of the technological innovation and the productivity of the company. And when we see our jobs leaving this area, that we see that impacts the ability of the company to compete. And that's how we feel. We're very strong about that. The company competes in the global marketplace because of the innovation and the productivity that we bring to the job. And when our jobs are sent overseas, we can't do that anymore, and the productivity and the competitiveness of the company suffers. And we offer the 787 program as an example of what has happened when they attempted to do that.
Well, I think there are a lot of issues. I think for the company, it's how do we compete in a completely different environment than we've competed in the past. In the past, we've been in a duopoly competing against the Europeans, and now it's the Europeans, it's the Russians, the Japanese, the Brazilians, the Chinese, and it's going to be a new paradigm. And we got to figure out how we can continue to enjoy the great market share that we have in a more competitive environment. I think that's the big issue for the company, and certainly the big issue for the unions.